welcome to yet again another episode of the Motown Show. I'm Shrishti Sharma and let's get started with the top headlines of the automobile industry in the week gone by. And first up, the India's auto industry gears up for 2026 when Mahindra has made a bold opening move with the launch of XUV 7XO alongside the electric 3XO EV, highlighting the company's strategy to focus on aggressive pricing with a strong SUV and EV portfolio. 2026 is shaping up to be a busy year for the auto industry. With new vehicle launches expected almost every week, the auto industry is set for back-to-back launches, with Bajaj Auto, Mercedes-Benz and Tata Motors leading the pipeline. Indian auto industry is expected to see another strong year ahead with an estimate growth of that is pointing out to be 8 to 9% in the calendar year 2026, supported by robust near-term demand growth with a festive and the wedding season around the corner. And Tata Motors JLR business reported a weak Q3 FY26 performance with sales hit by the cyber incident and production disruptions, leading to a sharp year-on-year decline in both wholesale and retail volumes across the key global markets, including US, Europe and China. But some good news with respect to exports as well, because North America's Class 8 truck orders jumped 16% year-on-year in December, ending an 11-month of decline and giving a boost to the Indian auto ancillary exports like Bharat Forge, GNA Axles as well as RK Forgings, which are linked to the global commercial vehicle demand. All right, now it's time to get you the global automobile story, wherein electric vehicles have changed the global auto landscape. And in 2025, we witnessed a historic leadership shift. Now, for the first time ever, China's BYD has overtaken Tesla as the world's largest seller of electric vehicles based on annual pure EV deliveries. BYD delivered approximately 2.3 million battery electric vehicles in 2025 compared to about 1.64 million for Tesla. And that's a substantial lead, marking a changing guard in the EV marketplace after years of Tesla dominance. But the question remains why this happened. Now, there are several reasons for this shift. First, of course, is the strong domestic demand in China, the world's largest EV market. Second, of course, is the affordable and the diversified model lineup at BYD, spanning both for pure EVs and the plug-in hybrids that appeal the wider customer base. And third is Tesla's growth has slowed partially due to the expiration of the US federal tax credit and a slump in delivery, especially in the late 2025. Now, these factors combined have given BYD the edge. Now, with respect to the tech and strategy differences, BYD's strategy includes plug-in hybrids alongside full EVs, which boost its total vehicle volume and helps in markets where EV infrastructure is seen to be catching up. Now, Tesla focuses purely on battery EVs and a premium positioning. While Tesla still leads in the brand recognition and autonomous tech aspirations, BYD's affordability and scale are providing global decisiveness. Because in terms of the global expansion as well, BYD isn't just winning in China, it's expanding in Europe, LATAM and the other markets as well, edging into the regions where Tesla once had a clear advantage. Now, this diversification is key to BYD's growth story. So what does this mean for the future of EVs? The race is very much on the back of data for 2025 that shows a world where EV leadership is no longer under Tesla's sole control. BYD's rise reflects broader shift in the prices, consumer preferences, and the global distribution of electric vehicles. All right, now onto the Motown Show. Let's get you some management interactions as well. And Simple Energy management is something that we will be talking to. And let me welcome on board the founder and CEO of Simple Energy, Mr. Suhas Rajkumar, joining us on the show. Mr. Rajkumar, so good having you on the channel today. And firstly, congratulations on the Gen 2 launch and the launch of the new products. Why don't you start by telling us that what this new product launch is all about, how improved version these are with respect to your earlier versions, and how exactly will it help you to grow your market share in the overall EV space?
We launched our Gen 2, which is an upgrade from Gen 1. So it comes with a significant upgrade on hardware, firmware, and also mechanical changes. So this kind of takes the notch a bit more higher compared to what our Gen 1 was. So we have a 248 kilometer range scooter previously. Now it's a 265 kilometer IDC. It comes with all the packs of software that a customer wants, from a regen to traction control to new UIX and entire chassis redesigned for better handling, more performance, etc. So it's a revamp of our existing models, making it more accessible because the price starts at 139,999. And when you have a model which kind of tops everything in terms of features, it is bound that people will start looking at you in a different tangent. And I think with this portfolio of Gen 2, I think we should be able to spearhead in terms of our store counts and our vehicle sales month on month.
Rajkumar, why don't you tell us that going ahead, what sort of a capex requirement are you envisaging? Is there anything that you are looking forward to raise some fresh round of money for capex in the near term at least? And going ahead, what are your plans for the IPO?
So we don't have to do any more capex on this because we have already done that with our Gen 1. Of course, slightly here and there, but it was not something major for us. With our revenue perspective, last year to this year, we have grown. We will be about 300% in terms of growth of revenue. As of today, we have grown about 250%. So by year end, we should clock that 300% mark. So we've been very strong. Last year, Jan, we had 10 dealerships. This Jan, we have close to 80 stores. And by March, we are aiming about 150 stores. So for us, revenue growth will be on a it will be on a hockey stick mode. But having said that, IPO is a place where we want to raise money primarily for our expansion strategies and our R&D needs, right? And as a company which is now scaling from last year about 1,500 scooters on an average to 2,500 scooters from Jan this month. So we are looking at scaling into 5,000 by March per month, and by June, July, we should be topping about 10,000 scooters a month. So when we have a certain volume of that that is coming in next 2 quarters, I think we should be able to have a decent gross margins, EBITDA margins, because we are looking at profitability next 2 quarters with the volume going up.
Welcome back to the Motown Show. Luxury in India is not just about an aspiration. It's about the choices that you make. And BMW India had its just a record year in 2025, wherein not just with respect to the overall sales figure, they did amazingly well, outperforming the industry growth, but along with that, the kind of jump that they have seen in their EV portfolio, that was also commendable. But what's really driving this growth? Let's understand all of that in detail. And today onto the Motown Show, we have Mr. Hardeep Singh Brar, who is the President and CEO of BMW Group India. Mr. Brar, so good having you on the channel today. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you for being here.
Thank you. But congratulations, first of all. 2025 has been a record year, and we obviously want to know about Outlook 2026. But why don't we do a bit of a recap? What really helped you to outperform the industry in the year gone by?
I think a brilliant question to start with. As you said, we did 18,001 numbers. First time we crossed this number. The last number was 15,753 in 2024. So that makes it 14% growth. Coming to what really made it happen, the first one is, we had 10 new products in 2025. For example, we are sitting next to the X3. This did extremely well. Then we launched the iX1, which is the electric vehicle at 50 lakh rupees, which did amazingly well for us. We were at penetration of 8% on electric vehicles. It has gone up to 21% thanks to iX1. People really love the design of this car. In fact, we got this one as a long wheel base. So if you want to, drive the car yourself on the weekends, and you want to sit on the rear seat and let the chauffeur do the driving because the traffic is quite a bit, it's a perfect car for you as a driver or for the back seat. So I think that was the second thing which really worked. The third thing, I think people realized with this BMW, in any case, the BMW cost of ownership is one of the lowest. But with iX1, practically there is no cost because you buy the car, there is practically no maintenance. And on top of that, there are, your running cost is just 1 to 1.5 rupees a kilometer. And what else that you can ask for? And last but not least, there was a lot of apprehension about the resale value. And we had this product called 360 Degree, which is done by BMW Financial Services, and we give a assured buyback to our customers, right? So, all our products, even X3, X5, the 7, you can see the 3 Series behind me. It's a long wheelbase. I think all products have done extremely well. Next to it is, we are also expanding a network, and we are now present in 40 cities across. We have close to 100 touch points, and our expanding network is also helping us reach closer to the consumers. And last but not least, we have a lot of these experiential events for our customers. We just concluded the golf event, which was our All India Golf Tournament last year, and we have just started for 2026 from 9th of January. So the kind of events that we are curating, people just don't want experience at the time of buying the car or servicing the car. They want experience all through. So we have these nice wine and cheese events, the gourmet events, the art fairs. You name the events, and we have all the variety. And this is what people really love about us.
So you're engaging more and more with your customers. But with respect to the geographies, where are you focusing the most on? And also help us understand what, as per you, is helping the EV market or the luxury market rather grow in India. It's because of the heightened aspirations that the Indians now have. It's because of the more savings, or it's the overall kind of lifestyle that they want to have. It may be because of that's fueling the growth for makers like you.
I think this consumer really wants to contribute to the overall environment. They're very sustainability conscious. Of course, it not only helps them keep the environment clean, but also it keeps their maintenance cost down. As I mentioned, you practically have no cost in terms of running. Your maintenance cost completely goes down. So a combination of cost consciousness and also consciousness towards the environment is what is really helping them. I think the third very important factor is, in general, if you see the petrol, diesel prices versus the EVs are always 15 to 20% rupees more expensive, percentage more expensive than the equivalent ICE model. In case of BMW, we have consciously made sure that the adoption will improve when the prices are at par. And that has really helped us to maintain this high level of penetration for EVs. While we have only 2 big EVs, the i7, in 7 versus i7 is 50-50 ratio. And same as with the X1 and iX1, we are now almost inching close to 50-50 ratio between electric and petrol and diesel. So that's what is working for us.
All right, but with India as a market, where are you driving the most of your sales from? And where are you focusing more? Is it tier 2 cities that are driving more growth versus tier 1?
Of course, because you still have a lot of space in the smaller towns, and you have big roads, the highways, and you can be on highway in no time. Whereas in Delhi or Gurgaon, it takes you time to really hit the highway. So yes, the smaller towns are growing, bringing in the growth. But of course, from sheer volume perspective, you can't ignore the Delhis, the Bombays, and the Bangalores of the world, because the quantum is so huge that you cannot ignore, even if the growth rates are smaller. And hence, in 2026, we want to expand in smaller towns as well. We are adding 10 more cities to our portfolio to take it from 40 to 50 in 2026, so that we can get closer to these consumers, because sometimes they have apprehension, what will happen if something happens to my car. But when you have a service station or workshop closer to you, it takes care of that anxiety. Not that anything happens to the BMW, but still people want that assurance at the back of their mind.
But are you seeing more of the first-time buyers coming for BMW, or it's the BMW lovers, they are upgrading themselves?
So very interestingly, for iX1, we have 50% of the customers coming from the mass market and the mass premium market to the BMW. And here I would like to say that BMW is playing a role of actually expanding the luxury market in India. Right, you don't see that kind of percentage of customers coming from mass market. Of course, 50% of the customer are the existing BMW owners who have bigger cars, but they want a car which is electric, and iX1 absolutely fits the bill. So, we are seeing a lot of these customers coming from mass market, and we hope that more and more people are coming into this space so that they can experience the sheer driving pleasure.
Absolutely, but how is 2026 looking? Let's deep dive more into that. And specifically with respect to numbers, with respect to new product launches, what's in the store?
So since COVID, we've been growing at an average growth rate of 13 to 14%. And we don't want to give up on that, right? So the double-digit growth is the bare minimum, but we would like it to be the strong double-digit growth even in 2026. And for that, I spoke about, we are expanding into the smaller markets, adding 10 more cities. But the important thing is the 10 new launches again in 2026 as well, which are going to be big bang launches. 6 are absolutely new products. 4 are major changes in the existing products. And not only that, we have 17 more minor changes in the existing product portfolio. So we are going very high on the product offensive in 2026. And this was number 2. And last but not least, we want to really make our customer experience even better than where we are today. Our customers are very happy. We have a very high percentage of promoter shares. We want to take it to 100% that everybody is talking about BMW. So if you can see the space where we are sitting, we call it a retail next format. We are taking it to all the places now, all the showrooms and workshops, so that it gives you more than a 5-star feel. And even in terms of our processes, we are improving so that customer really feel wow when he's interacting with BMW.
Wow, Mr. Bharat, that's exciting that you have so many new launches lined up. But lastly, if you can give us some sense that maybe in the next couple of years, how do you see the EV penetration going in? How will the ICE versus the EV mix look like for BMW?
Frankly, last year when we started, we didn't anticipate that we'll reach 21%. But I think the performance was better than expected. The demand was better than expected for our EVs, and we could reach 21%. So we do not really chase some of these numbers, and we would rather we go with the flow and try to see which market is evolving. For example, even despite supplying more EVs last year, we are still on a waiting of 3 months, and we are looking at how we can improve it further. In Q4, we actually reached 23% penetration in EVs. And with more EVs, we are bringing in 3 new EVs as well in 2026. And I feel we should be very close to 25%. And I think by 2030, we should be very easily 30%. But as I said, we would rather let the market decide what they want, and we want to adjust according to what our customer wants.
All right, all eyes on that, but very big plans for BMW Group India, and looking forward to all of that. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for joining us at BMW Retail Next.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
It's time to talk about the car of the week, and that is the all-new Hyundai Creta Electric. And we're going to be telling you about some of the cool features and what really makes it different from the traditional ICE Creta. So at the first glance, the Creta Electric looks familiar to the ICE Creta, but take a closer look. You will get to see the EV-specific elements. You get these flaps as well, but definitely a premium design offering is what this Creta offers. So inside this Creta is all about comfort and convenience. You get the electrically adjustable seats, not just only for the driver, but for the front passenger as well. And get a closer look. You get more storage in this Creta because you can see the storage over here, as well as it's the floating center console, which gives you that premium feeling. And along with that, there's ambient lighting as well. So this Creta EV gets a different steering design. What you can see is actually quite comfortable. Alongside, you get different driving modes right here. And the gas selector is right mounted next to the driver, which is actually quite comfortable. I drove it on the city roads, and it's very easy to actually switch it between the drive as well as in the reverse mode. So at the back, you get enough space, and alongside there are some cool features as well. The first of all is actually this tray, which comes with a cup holder, and alongside you get the boss mode because you can control your leg room right from these controllers. And alongside, there's also a 3-pin socket that is given in this Creta EV. And now it's time to test the car in the real driving condition, just to test the charging system, and that's quite impressive because just yesterday I took this car onto the Mumbai roads. I was stuck in traffic for almost 3 hours, and the charging dropped by almost 60 to 70 odd kilometers, wherein I covered a range of almost 45 kilometers, which is quite impressive indeed. And thanks to the regenerative charging system that the car has given, because now I am in the accelerating mode, the car is in the electric mode, but the time I take off my leg from the pedal of acceleration, it gets charged by itself. This Creta EV is just smarter, more comfort and more electric. So that's all about the Motown Show in this week. See you in the next episode.